All right, we are live. So now I can put one of my wine glasses down. Hello, everyone. It is Thursday, which means it is Pinot time here at Papapietro Perry, and I am here with winemaker Ben Papapietro.
Here.
We both have a little Pinot in our glass, and we are. Oh, wait, I keep forgetting. Go one more time. Try it again. No, to me.
There we go.
Ching. We're still learning this whole thing. Anyways, we want to welcome everybody, and actually, more importantly, we want to thank everybody. We are getting great responses. We are having a lot of fun doing these Pinot times, and we really actually appreciate you inviting us into your home. Even better because we bring our own wine, and you're spending the time with us. So we greatly enjoy it as well, and we hope you are having as much fun as we are having. Cheers, Joy. Thank you. Let's see.
Welcome back.
What's that?
I said, welcome back.
Welcome back. Right. So today we are actually doing our clones. We make two Pinot specific clones, a 777 clone and a Pommard clone. And Ben, talk to me a little bit about what, besides Dolly the sheep, what is a clone?
Well, a clone in the classic sense is a cutting from a mother plant. It's not like Dolly the sheep, you know. It's actually a cutting from the mother plant, and they propagate those. And what's been done in the Russian River Valley is they propagated a lot of Dijon clones. So one of the very first clones that were grown in the Russian River area in the early 60s, 1960s, was the Pommard clone.
Which I'm drinking.
That's one of the wines that we're going to drink today, which, let me make sure I have the right one. I had to put a rubber band on it so I didn't mix them up.
I went alphabetically. I got 777 on my left and Pommard on my right. So, but this is Pommard.
Yes. And so the Pommard clone is kind of considered the workhorse of the Russian River. It was planted, a lot of it was planted. The early growers like Joe Swan, Joe Rocchioli, Kistler, and a few other guys. That was one of the first clones grown in our area.
And Pommard comes from?
There is a commune south of Beaune in the Côte d'Or of Burgundy region, which is where the mother plants are, and all those cuttings were brought to us, and probably were put in Davis and identified and cataloged and then spread out to the different nurseries once they, identified it properly. But I'm not much of a grower. I didn't start out with knowing too much about growing. In fact, when we first started out, I let Bruce go out into the vineyard, and they would do whatever they did. They'd bring the fruit to me, and once I got the fruit, then I would make wine out of it. But I was pretty busy and really not that interested in being a farmer. That's all changed now. I mean, now we have to spend a lot of time walking through the vineyards, working with our growers. But that was Bruce's job in the very early days.
Well, to be fair, I guess you had another full-time job and 2 kids and, a little bit going on in the beginning.
Yeah, you bring me the grapes and I'll make you some wine.
Oh. You heard that, everybody. Go right ahead. I think that's good. Well, actually, you help people make wine as well. I know Dan in the back office with us makes wine. You help him out. Dave makes some wine too. I mean, everybody makes. Everybody's a garagista.
It's like working in a restaurant. Everybody wants to own a restaurant once they've worked in a restaurant. So it's the same thing in the wine business. There's so many people have spun off. We were a spin-off of William Sullivan. We worked many years with Bert over in the very beginning for 18 or 19 vintages. We volunteered, a week, a couple of days, whatever we could get away to help out. So we spun off and many others from that particular group. And same with a lot of other wineries. People that work for those wineries have also spun off.
So I usually I get a lot of people that ask me, what is a clone? Putting it in ways they understand. I use roses when I say clones. And if you consider a yellow rose, a red rose, a white rose, they're all roses, but they have different characteristics. So taking that into the Pinot world, right? You have 777 Pommard, 667, 115, very sexy French names for these grapes. And these clones are but one, for example, they're multiple different vineyards, but the one clone, so it's white roses from multiple places in the Russian River Valley to make the bouquet that is Pommard.
Yes.
Yes, does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. So Pommard is one of the. Pinot Noir is one of the grapes that mutates a lot. Like Cabernet, there's only a few different clones of Cabernet. I don't know how many there are because I don't work with it, but not very many. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of different Pinot Noir clones. Not only the Dijon clones that are sexy numbered ones, but there's also the heritage clones, the Swan clone, all named after people that apparently the old story of the suitcase clone.
Or the boots.
Went to France and took cuttings and brought them back. A lot of heritage clones. So they grew those clones. And after they were on the site for a period of time, they named them after the people that were growing them. So those are heritage clones, plus the Dijon clones and many other clones. But in the Russian River, we mostly use Dijon clones. But there are other heritage clones grown also. So.
Right. And how many different clones do we bring into the winery?
Well, 6 or 8 different clones that we've used over the years. But most of my growers in the Russian River, the most important clones that we've used are the 115, the 667, the 777, 115. Pommard, and a few heritage clones that are available to us. So that's what kind of got us to do the clonal wines. Is we talked with Renee the last time and told about how we spent time at her house. Well, she didn't tell you that Bruce and I would be drinking these different wines we were making, and she would get all of a sudden go to bed. Oh, you guys, all you want to do is drink wine. So,
you didn't tell that story when she was here.
Drinking wine. So one night when it was really late and we were tasting the wines from Peter's Vineyard and Laris Vineyard, we only had a few vineyards at that time. And so we were tasting the Pommard clone. And at the end of the evening, we took the one and poured it into the other back and forth. So we had a mix of both clones, both locations. And we just knocked us out. Holy cow, this is way better than either one separately, you know? So that kind of gave us the idea to go back to the winery and make a Pommard clone. I think that was 2003 when we made our very first clonal winery. So the Pommard was our first. We kicked off, and the Wine Spectator right away gave it a great score. So by 2004, I think it got 93 points or 94 points. So that was a winner for us. And so we kind of stuck with that. And it was for a very long time, it was just the 2 vineyards, the Laris and the Peters. Then Renee also mentioned that the other house that they lived at that kind of stood in for our tasting room was surrounded by vineyards. What she didn't mention is the vineyard on the upper end was Bucher. And so we had talked with Bucher over the years as he was a neighbor, but we never were able to get grapes from him until one year we finally had a chance to work with him and some clonal wines. We decided to get Pommard clone and 777 clone from him to kind of bump up the clonal wines that we were doing. So he's got a great reputation up there on Dry Creek, West Side Road. And so we added that Pommard to our original blend of Laris and Peter. So now today it's those 3 vineyards, Pommard from Peters, Laris, and Bucher.
And is that what the blend been from those 3 vineyards every year?
No, it was originally for the first 4 years or so was was just Laris and Peters. Even though that's the workhorse, not everybody grew Pomard, and some of the people that grew Pomard didn't fit into what we thought of what Pomard should reflect. So it didn't end up in our blend. But then we used the Booker, and that fit in very nicely. Now it's never the same, like a third. It's always a little more of this or that. It's always every year it's a little bit different, but it really reflects what Pomard does in the Russian River Valley. And the French have a great name for Pomard. They describe it as the iron fist in a velvet glove, which when you kind of explain it out, it's the iron fist is powerful. It has big flavor, fruit, lots of things going for it, but it's very velvety on the finish. It's very smooth and elegant. So a powerhouse with this delicious soft finishing. So that's why we really like the Pomard a lot too, also.
Well, Pomard has always been one of my favorites. I always compare it, as opposed to the 777. If you do get to side by side them, to me the Pomard tends to be a little more masculine, has a little more of those darker notes. The 777 to me is a little more floral and feminine, is what I think. This is the 2017 vintage, which 2017 was a very interesting harvest year. But tell me what you're kind of smelling and tasting.
Well, I mean, as soon as you smell it, I mean, the nose of it is very, very sexy. It makes you want to put your nose back in, or I could just snip this wine and not drink it, actually. It's powerful fruit, lovely cherry fruit. It just, the characteristics of these covers all the bases, as beautiful, bright acidity and earthiness, but it has the smokiness, a little smokiness that I really like, almost like pork or smoked bacon or something. Anyway, that's the reflections.
And to be clear, the smokiness, I don't want anyone to confuse this with the fire smoke. 2017 was the year of Nunez. Yeah, no, that's not the smokiness he's talking about. He's more thinking about when you're cooking pork, or there's the bacon, the smokehouse flavors that you smell, you can taste in the wine, and you can pick up a little bit of that in the nose too, which maybe that's where I come in with that masculine piece.
So this, we should mention this wine because I'm very proud of the 2017 Pomard. And okay, so we put these three wines in the American Fine Wine competition in Florida.
Right.
And we submitted the Laris, the 777, and the Pomard clones 2017. All three of those wines received a double gold, which was amazing. The Pomard, this wine, won best of class, and then went on to compete with all the rest of the red wines in the competition. I think there was 400 to 500 other red wines, and it became the winner, the overall winner. Yeah, best of show wine. So I was very proud of this, how this wine came out.
And these clonals are very consistent year after year. I constantly say that with your winemaking and what you do at the winery. You really let the vineyard show through. In this case, you're really letting the clonal aspects show through. And there is a consistency every year, which really shines through. And I think that's one thing that's amazing, that I know if I like your Pomard clone, I'm probably going to like it every year. Nicole is saying she loves how it smells. I agree, Nicole. Wendy Nunez is saying it's the good smoke, and I absolutely agree. There is such a thing.
We should clarify this also, is that year, the 17 was the end of the drought. So we had a lot of water, and so a lot of growth. So the growers had a lot of extra work. They had to go through and trim all the vigor back one more time. That was one of the things that had to happen. And we had some early heat spikes that just pumped this this vineyard, I mean, the whole harvest in 2017 started early, maybe just past the middle of August. And we usually don't get our first fruit until after Labor Day. We had already started, and we were completed. All of our fruit was in. It was like this compressed, crazy harvest where everything was in 3 weeks. We never worked so hard ever. I mean, it was amazing. Around the clock we were working, and so by the third week in September, we had everything in, and everything was fermenting. And by the first week in October, we had everything in a barrel. So we were pretty much done. And then the tragedy of the fires in the Tubbs fire, my mom lost her house, and you had loss of house, and
He lost his house, yeah.
yeah. So we were just very fortunate. So when I say smoke, that's toast, and it usually is associated with the French oak barrels that we use, and the way it really melds with the fruit. That's why we choose to use that French oak barrel with the Pommard. So just to clarify that.
Oh, good. I do have a question. And we hadn't even talked about the 777 yet, so maybe I'm a little ahead on this one, but which is your favorite clone to pair with your Hawaiian shirts?
It's always a Pommard, though. I'm stuck. That was
easy.
my favorite go-to wine for 17 years now. And we've been very, very, very consistent with this wine. Year in and year out, it scores well. We sell it, and people love it. And if they don't love it, I certainly will drink it myself.
Yeah, we'll drink it. Well, I got to give the other clone a little love, so I'm going to pull up 777. We've explained the story of 777 before, and
pour myself a little 777.
And all of the videos are on our website if you want to go back and watch it. Oh, hold on, I got one up here. I got to show you mine too. Then
yeah,
yours, I'll show you mine.
You show me yours, I'll show you mine. Is that?
That's always how that works. But I did want to say that we can't tell the story about how the 777 got its name because I've been reprimanded by what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. And therefore, mums is the word.
Well, can't I just say that it has to do with a bunch of sevens?
You can, and everybody can use their mind on where they think the sevens come in.
It happened in Vegas, and they'll stay there.
Oh, wait, I'm going to jump back to Matt for a second. He's holding an 07 Pommard mag to be consumed later this year. Matt, our large formats are amazing. They age so beautifully. That 07 mag is going to be delicious, and we need a pic or an email or something when you do consume it, or an invite. Too. Later this year, we should be clear. We're happy to share that with you, Matt. All right, on to the 777. 2017 777 clones.
So it's a clonal pick from 4 of our vineyards now. We're using the Newness Vineyard, the Laris Vineyard, the Peters Vineyard, and the Booker Vineyard. Every once in a while, we have another vineyard that has 777. So I've used as many as 5 different vineyards. Right now, this one here has the 4 vineyards in it. It's a little riff on the same thing as we did with the Pommard. The 777 is a really bright acidic clone. So it's known for its bright acidity. So singly by itself, it's a little too bright for me for a Pinot. It needs to round out a little bit. So using the philosophy that we created with the Pommard clone, these are 4 different vineyards in 4 different parts of the Russian River. We're in the far south of Sebastopol in the almost the Petaluma Gap with Randy's Fruit, and Nick's, the central part of the Russian River. The northern throw of the Russian River is where Booker is, and then on the east side of 101 for the Newness Vineyard. So it's got a great spread, and so lots of different soils and lots of different microclimates make this and especially juicy.
Good word.
7.
Well, Matt, we're not invited to help Matt drink his
Oh.
by the way. No one's invited, he told me. And Lorraine wants me to let you spill the beans on the 777 story, but I think you got to ask Yolanda that one. Now I just made it sound even worse.
Oh, geez.
You can tell the story if you like. Everyone loves the story. If you've already heard it, you use it as a
Probably everybody's probably heard it, but the 777 wasn't in the books at the time, and I was in Las Vegas doing sales. I was working there by myself, working with our sales team in Vegas.
By himself.
And so at late at night, when I was through with all the sales and all the stuff that I had to do, I sat down and played a couple $1 slot machines, and the one on the one side hit, and I was looking at the other one, and I looked over that one when I pulled this one, and this one hit. So I got 2,500 on this one and 1,000 on this one. Was all sevens. And boom, it just hit me. Wow. So I went back. We had all these different vineyards that grew the 777. So I made the blend, and it does very well in Vegas. High roller wine.
You don't win much when you hit 115 or 667 in Vegas, do you?
No.
You tend to just have to do another.
I mean, there's a lot of people that make clonal wines. I mean, they have a lot of 115, so they make a 115 clone. It doesn't really matter on what clone you use, but to me, the idea was to use the same clone from a lot of different places, because if you use a single clone from a single vineyard, it's pretty one-dimensional. That's why most growers grow lots of different clones, different blocks of clones, because the blend of the different Pinots give much more depth and character to a Pinot than a single clone. So you're stuck with if you have a single clone of whatever that particular one does. But if you have a bunch of different ones, you add different acidity levels, different pH levels, different cherry or different raspberry or strawberry fruit, and it just adds to the glamour of the wine, I think.
I see Rick Sparrow's on. I've been told, Rick, your wine club shipment is on its way. And the current wine club shipment does have the 18 Pommard in it, even though we're drinking the 17 Pommards in 777. 777 tends to come out in the fall. For some reason, I feel the 777 needs a little more time in the bottle than the Pommard. So I tend to pick the Pommard to release in the spring and the 777 to release in the fall. But we do still have 17 Pommard and 777, of course.
They're beautifully right now too. They're just gorgeous.
Oh my God, this is beautiful. These are tough days at work because we don't open now. Of course, the tasting room's closed. The wines aren't open every day, and so we can't just meander up front to do a little, R&D quality check. And so this is awesome. Oh, Ron's loving. Ron, we love you. I enjoy the Pommard more than the best French Burgundians I've drunk. Thank you.
That's quite a statement. I'd love to hear that. Thank you.
That is quite a statement. We absolutely love that. No, this is fantastic. How about some food pairings? I know we are we're massive foodies at the winery. I'm not sure if people know this, but usually Monday through Friday, we are fed lunch where Dave, our assistant winemaker, or Jim, who's in our tasting room, they make us lunch. I eat better for lunch than dinner at the winery. I'm not enjoying the lunches I make at home right now at all.
I skip lunch completely. I
made mac and cheese today. I got 2 teenage boys. That's what they eat. It was easy. But I was definitely missing. What was lunch today, by the way?
Cashew chicken, Mongolian beef.
Cashew chicken, Mongolian beef, and mushu pork was for lunch at the winery today. That's BS. I missed it.
Oh, man. And it was what, just 3 people?
Yeah, probably like 3 people. This is complete BS.
They must have ordered out.
Yeah, no one brought leftovers at my front door. I lied. Maybe I'll go check. Anyways, we are foodies. So Nicole's saying the Pommard tasted great with roasted cauliflower and broccoli tonight. Nicole, I would have eaten that too. It's better than Kraft mac and cheese.
Yeah, well.
What are you cooking tonight, Ben?
Tonight we're doing, I got the grandkids and I got both daughters here and the grandkids. So we're doing a tri-tip, barbecue tri-tip, some ranch beans, and some. What are you doing, Yolanda, for a vegetable? Oh, Swiss chard. Ah.
Yeah, you had me up until Swiss chard.
Yeah, no. So that's dinner tonight. We're very fortunate to have everybody, my family, very close to us.
If I do this, can I come over?
We will have to wait on that.
Oh, I can't even put it on. All right. I can't drink wine with it anyway.
You can't eat with it, you know. It's like,
I'll wait.
I have to put you on the other side of the yard, you know.
Oh, like Wilson. What was that TV show with Wilson?
Yeah, the neighbor.
Tool Time with Tim Taylor. Oh, Stacy, the 777 is our absolute favorite. People have their favorites. I love hearing. I love people side by siding. I say you have two hands for a reason. Side by side these things, and that's really when you can start. Okay, hold on. Let me pour myself some more pomard. That's really exciting when you can tell the difference in the characteristics of the Pinot. With Sarah wants to come by and sit poolside. Sarah, I'll join you poolside. I agree. All right, so side by side, I think you can really tell more of a difference. Oh, these are great. Tell me what you think of the 777.
Me?
Yeah. Well, you told me what you taste and smell in the pomard. I apologize.
Well, I get like almost the same kind of nose to begin with, but just a little more cream brulee-ish kind of. And it's barrel spice, I'm sure. But the wine's aroma is just emerged from the wine as it opens, and it's beautiful, like red and black raspberry, which on the palate is just amazing fruit.
It is. I'm actually trying to write a note because Matt Malone is drinking the 15777. So I was going to tell Dan, where does Matt live? Because I'm hoping he lives close by.
You know, it has a sweet tart balance to it. You know.
Oh yeah.
So like chicken would be great with this. You could do this with fish. I mean, because the acidity is there. So you could do it with like a grilled salmon or a roast salmon would be really terrific. You know.
I love our Pinots with salmon. I think it's a perfect, delicious pairing. Where is he?
I did a little seminar at school for my daughter at State College, and the professor there said, you drink red wine with meat and you drink white wine with fish. And so it was my turn. I said, I don't want to really, contradict you, but with Pinot Noir, you can drink Pinot Noir with red meat or fish, and it would go very, very well. And if you need a demonstration, I'll be glad to give it to you.
How did you do in that class?
Well, the kids liked it. I don't know. The teacher might not invite. I was never invited back.
You get that a lot. I will say as well, I forget where, Matt, you do not live that far away. You live in Concord. Sorry, I already looked you up. This is an essential activity. Sorry, back to this. I forget where I was recently, but I was chilling the wines down, the Pinots down, for some event, because you chill them down so they can raise to room temp, so then they drink beautifully and they don't drink warm. Nothing worse than warm wine unless it's mulled wine.
You have warm wine, especially Pinot, it's flabby. And I have no problem asking the sommelier or the wine service people, bring me an ice bucket when I buy a bottle of wine in a restaurant. A lot of times they serve it too warm. So I have no problem asking for a bucket of ice and stick it in the ice for a few minutes. It doesn't take much, but just to chill on. If you get it at a warm room temperature like we were in Palm Springs and they were serving these wines, really? So can I have an ice bucket?
And you think about it, you're supposed to serve red wine room temp, but that's French room temp.
Well, it has to be San Francisco. My cellar never got above 58 degrees or 59. I lived on a steep hill, and the wine cellar was underground, basically. So,
well, here you go. What temperature do you like your Pinot?
Well, in the 58 or 59, right out of my cellar downstairs. It's like perfect. And usually I bring it upstairs, sits out for a while, goes in the refrigerator, 10 minutes before dinner or 15 minutes before dinner, bring it out and open it. And because we're warm here. So room temperature here is like 78 degrees or something, so.
And that's warm
that's warm. Start sweating.
Yeah, I don't want to hear Arizona and Texas and Florida. I know you're warm too. Our wine is really, my point though too was I've chilled our wine down too much and tasted it before, and it's actually yummy and refreshing with a decent chill on it and a slight chill. I like my reds with a slight chill. I am a swirler. I like it opening up in the glass and warming up. The flavors come out. Ron, 58 degrees, excellent. Nunez, 59 degrees. Lorraine, you're doing it right. You guys, we don't have to teach you guys anything.
So you were swirling your wine, So I had an appointment with a very famous sommelier in a restaurant in San Francisco. And so he poured me some wine, and I was talking to him, and I was spinning the wine, and the next thing I know, I was wearing the wine.
Were you? Oh.
I was so nervous. When I first started selling wine, and I had wine all over me. What a way to start out my sales program.
You piss off teachers, you piss off buyers. No wonder we keep
me in the cellar. I'm dangerous.
So that's what it was. We actually did a Riedel seminar in the very beginning of March before all the craziness hit. They teach you about the different glasses and whatnot. And in order to do the Riedel seminar, we had to ice the wines for 4 hours. So our Pinots for 4 hours. And I was complaining at the winery because everybody I said Pinots need to be iced. Everyone's like, Pinot? Yes. Ice the Pinot. Pinot? Oh my gosh, yes. And we told everybody. And then we were pouring it in the little cups and we tasted it in the glass. And I was like, this is delicious cold. It was even yummy cold, yummy room temp. The wine was amazing. And so Simone said that's where she gets it from. Simone, do you spill a lot? Does Simone spill a lot? You can get sippy cup.
Well, Renee did one. She opened her bottle and
she did Tuesday. She's
wearing half the bottle.
Is that why you wear Hawaiian shirts? Because I would not be able to tell right now if you spilled on yourself.
Well, it makes me feel safe that way. Yeah.
Brilliant. All right, well, everybody, I'm going to wrap this up right now. We so appreciate everybody coming in. Oh, Simone says maybe. But Tuesday in the cellar is Tuesday at 4 p.m. I'm not quite sure what Ben and I are going to open. We both have our cellars. Well, Ben has his cellar. I have the winery cellar and a key. So I'm open to suggestions.
We'll be watching you, though, Kristen.
What?
We'll be watching you.
You're at home. Sheltering in place like you should. I'm kidding.
You don't know about the cameras at the warehouse?
Oh, dang it. Oh, you'll never recognize me if I'm like this with a ball cap. There's some good positives. But anyways, and next Thursday, we're going away from the Russian River Valley. We are road tripping it. We're going to do the 17 Charles from Anderson Valley and the 17 Campbell Ranch from the true Sonoma Coast. So,
exciting.
We're doing the Rosé and Nina.
I got wrong notes over here. Let me show Dan. We're not doing that next Thursday. Apparently I lied to you. That's the following week. It takes a while to road trip.
Right.
Next week, we are doing our 2019 Rosé Pinot Noir and our Nunez Vineyard. And Wendy, if you're still listening, I'm hoping maybe you and Fred will come on. We're going to give you a call to see if you want to be our special guest and tell us everything. We would love it. And then Ron, you wanted some.
We need an hour.
We need an hour? Yeah, Fred does like to talk, doesn't he? But Ron wants some more from Martin 777. Hey, give us a call. Someone's at the winery. I'm working remotely from home, but I'm always on email. $5 shipping. Use promo code SIPSonoma, curbside pickup, whatever it is. Matt, I'm coming for you for that 07 Pomard. And hey, cheers, everybody. And thank you for joining us again. We appreciate it. Oh, wait. Look, I can do it this way.
Yeah, this way.
This.
You get them both that way.
Over here. I can't even do this. Watch. That's sweet. All right. Love you guys. Thank you for joining us.